All right, so we are going to explore the inverse of the exponential. So here's what I want you to do, class. I want you to pause this video. I want you to grab a piece of graph paper, and I want you to graph 2 to the x, the exponential function. So 2 to the x power. Pause now. All right, I'm back. So here are our basic points for the exponential function. I just put in -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. When I put in -1, I get a half. 0 gives me 1, 1 gives me 2, 2 produces 4, and 3 gives me 8. So I have already graphed that. It's right here. So here are the points. Here is -1.5, 0 and 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 4, and then 3 and 8. So you have the list of points. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to notice this. Remember our good friend, the horizontal line test. What does the horizontal line test tell us? Well, the horizontal line test tells us if a function is a one-to-one function. And the reason that that is important is because a one-to-one function has an inverse. That itself is a function. So we can see that if I take my ruler, this does indeed pass the horizontal line test. The horizontal line hits the graph 1 point everywhere. So what we're going to do, and again, what I would like you to do is pause the video. I want you to take the points on this graph, and remember the inverse is just what we get when we flip the x and the y value. Okay, so pause, and now you're back. And so when I flip the x and the y values, here's what I get. I'm just going to go from the right to the left. This is the point 3, 8. So when I flip the values, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3. This is the point 2, 4. So when I flip the values, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. This is the point 1, 2. So when I flip the values, I get 2, 1. This is the point 0, 1. So when I flip, I get 1, 0. And last but not least, this is -1.5. So it's a half and -1. Another thing we noticed before is that the x-axis was a horizontal asymptote of the exponential graph. So that means that the y-axis is going to be a vertical asymptote because we are flipping the values. And so what we get right here in red on my graph, this is the inverse graph of the exponential function. Couple characteristics of this graph, and then we'll be done with this video. First characteristics, notice my domain. What is the lowest value? Well, since I have an asymptote here, the lowest x value is 0. And then the furthest to the right this graph is going to go is infinity. It's never going to go through the vertical asymptote, so I put a parenthesis there. The range is the lowest y value is -infinity. The highest y value, it's doing it very slowly, but it's eventually going to go up to +infinity, and there is my domain and range. So that is the inverse of the exponential graph.